Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Model in a Movie, episode 7, Piggy,
Piggy.
with a side of Indiana Jones,
Indiana Jones.
Asteroid City, and I have a little quick movie theater review I want to give up, and we'll leave that as we get there. How are you, Marion Clark, my co-host for Model in a Movie?
All right, my man. How are you doing?
Doing okay. Summer break treating you well?
Yeah, my wife and daughter are getting ready to go on their family excursion with the in-laws, and I stay home with the dogs. So they'll be gone for 2 weeks, and I will be
You get to be alone for 2 weeks?
huff and glue and playing video games.
That's awesome. Oh, the days of living alone. All right, before I get in trouble.
But I'm not alone. So I mean, I just say I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Because the beds are small. I'm like a little under 6'4", so the beds are small. Everything's like made for people who are under 6 feet, and I'm uncomfortable the entire time. So that's not a big deal.
Man.
How about? I know you went to Michigan recently.
I went to. We have another little place my family does in Michigan City, so we go between there and New Buffalo, Michigan, and did some kayaking. And it rained. It hasn't rained like all summer here. It's been a drought, crazy. And then we go away for like a couple days and it rains the whole time. It was fun. It was good to get away, go do stuff. Jamie and I, with my parents, watch them argue. It was. They decided to get a tandem kayak, and my parents are the worst at communicating and coordinating, and watching them spin in circles and swear, and then have my dad's kayak seat break halfway through the trip. So like right before we were turning around to go back the other way, his seat broke, so he couldn't sit up straight in the kayak. So I had to beach them, switch them around, and it was fun.
Well, that's a poor modeler. You should have had some model super glue with you and some Zap It, and you'd have fixed it like that.
And if anyone ever gets it, Scott's met my parents. I'm trying to think who else has. My parents are the Costanzas, Frank and Estelle to a T, and I am George. Of them just yelling at each other constantly, and that's my upbringing. That's why I'm a weirdo. But anyway, awesome. We're here to talk about what we're working on, what we got, and some movies we saw. We are talking about Piggy this episode, and this was Brian's. Before we get into it, Brian, was it what you expected it to be?
No,
okay,
it was not.
That's
the way what I read, and it was Total Film Magazine.
Yeah,
I thought it was that or Fangoria. Those are the two I get. What I had read versus what I saw were two different things. So it could be because the Total Film is a European magazine, English, whatever. I did not. It wasn't what I thought.
Okay, so a little teaser there before we get into it.
Yeah.
I kind of had that feeling, but
yeah,
we'll get there. All right, what are you working on, man?
Right now, really just for my buddy. He bought that Tinkerbell kit. Where she's sitting on
with like the scissors and the spool of thread and all. Okay, I'll find a picture somewhere and stick it up. Or if you have one, send. Okay.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Like I've done all the other ones, right? Yeah. I did the. This is Skin Tone is I got the set, the Pro Roll base set, and I didn't. It was too dark, I thought.
Okay.
So I'm doing it with the model color, paler color. I like that better for her. I think she's more of a so I just started that and finished some other things up. Last time, if you remember, I showed you the old lady. She's done.
Got her all from George. Those are the George busts from Blackheart?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, that's a sweet little Grammy.
I got her done, and then this one I think came out I really like this one.
That is cool. Those are nice little pieces, yeah.
And then this guy, after Wonderfest, I just went crazy.
Just cranked him out.
Yeah, this guy, he's got pins in his head.
Nice.
And then the final one, which is the only one I'm not completely done with. Oops, it's not even glued to the base. I have to finish her eyes, but then she'll be done. And there's a chain that goes through
Through
the
there.
top.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
I'll put a
and then
link up to George's site for those busts too again.
those are they're fun, man. They were like quick and easy, and I got to play, with different color tones, and um, I pushed the boundary a little because I'm still new with the flesh tone stuff.
Yeah.
Monster, you
Yeah.
could do whatever you know. So I did a red wash. I did some pastels. I did, I mixed it up, and they all came out differently, and I think they all look good. So
Cool. Yeah. That's what it's
that's it.
about. Cranking them out in the summer, man. That's
Oh, and because you talked about it with the human skin tag, um, I did get my silver. There you
Oh, look
go.
at that. That is a
Got
nice
it.
silver award, man. I'm so jealous.
They're, this is rock solid. I could honestly commit a murder that Perry Mason would have to figure out.
So yeah, you happy about your awards and all that went cool.
Yeah.
Hey.
I will say, the people were saying that everything got an award, and that's not true. There were a lot of things that didn't, but there were a lot that did too.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's more because people are getting better.
That could be.
I mean, last year I went from 2 merits and nothing. So 8 got nothing, 2 got merits, to 9 merits and a silver. So, and I'm done. I told you I was done. I'm done. I'm
For
done.
people who are just joining and never seen this before, we're talking about the contest at Wonderfest. So in Louisville, Kentucky. So if you're interested, check out Wonderfest. But congrats, man. I remember my first silver. I know which model it got. Like, it was awesome. And it's a feeling like no other. So congrats.
I was ecstatic for a week, and I did a corny little thing. I told Missy, my wife, I said, I'm going to put it next to it for now and just let it sit next to the model that won, and then I'll put it away. And
I have one little shelf in one of my cases that has all of that. Or no, it's on top. It's sitting on top of one of my Detolfs with my silvers and stuff.
What did the silver look like when you won?
It's just like a wood plaque with like a plastic painted silver piece of plastic over the top of it that says like silver award. That's what it was back then. Which at the time it was super cool. Like whatever, that's awesome. It's not the medal with the bronze were at the time. Yeah. What's the bronze award now?
It's a plastic, it's a plastic W.
Okay. Because that's back when I was doing it. I always thought the bronze looked the best because it was an actual medal that was like a bronze medal, and they used to do, I think, silver and golds were that way, but then they changed the silver to a plaque. And when I got a gold, it's a plastic base with like an acrylic Wonderfest W that's clear, like etched into it.
Well, the gold looks just like this. The only difference is I don't know if you can. Is it showing up?
Yeah, you can see it.
So it says silver here. It says gold.
Oh, really?
That's what I saw. Yeah, and I might be wrong.
Okay.
So I'm, like I said, once I get my silver, I'm done.
You say that now. We're gonna test this next year.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what, I can't, because we're still in school next year. Because I normally stay Monday.
Yeah,
I can't do that. So I'll be leaving earlier on Sunday this coming year. So.
It sucks. I have to figure that out too. What did you buy? Anything cool? Real quick? Anything?
I bought a lot, and you
don't have to go through it all, but like you're listed.
Well, green slime. We talked about green slime.
All three of us got. Yeah, I haven't even opened it yet, and I think when we're done today, I'm gonna make some videos of unboxing stuff. So,
and I would like. I showed it on the Discord on Saturday night, because Scott brought up, there's big holes on the top, and I looked there. There are holes for curing or whatever, but
Scott's only doing that because we were busting his balls that he couldn't print without putting holes in the top.
Yeah,
so he was trying to justify what he did.
I know, but there's 7 holes, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna fill them because I don't have resin like you guys do. So I'm not sure. That's gonna have to sit for. I don't know if I have perfect plastic putty somewhere around here.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll work or not.
It should. When I open mine up, maybe I'll do a quick video for people that bought that kit on how to do it without resin and
Yeah.
just kind of fill them up that way.
That's a phenomenal kit. I bought a bunch of stuff from Jamie. I bought all of his little minifigures, they're toonish,
Yeah.
because I bought 5 last year, and I just like, dude, just whatever else you have, just make me one and throw it in a box. And I bought those from him. Some dirtbag made Boondock Saints for me, and
that guy.
yeah,
did you open that yet?
I did. It's freaking huge.
Isn't it stupid? I don't.
I got it right here. Let me.
So when I printed it, when I started looking at the files, I was like, wait, what? How in the hell? So I ended up having to do like for the base in plastic in FDM. I was thinking of doing the backdrop in that, but I was able to do that in resin really thin, and it just fit on the Jupiter. But it's a nice display piece for people who have not seen that Boondock Saints from Vengeance Studios. It's really cool. It is a centerpiece, man.
Well, here's just to give people an idea. Here's the back wall.
Yeah, the back wall's three parts. It's a 1/6 scale, 3 figures, and it fits. Yeah.
Because that's, I mean, thing's huge. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, you're almost gonna pull me.
Yeah, thing's huge, man.
Yeah, it is huge. So that's the back wall that fits into a circular base, and
there's 2 figures. The 2 Boondock Saints are shooting a guy
in the back of the head.
Who's kneeling in front of him. That's straight from the movie. So. But,
no, it was a fun piece to print actually, and it printed really well. There was a couple little issues with Vengeance that I had them fix. I've noticed that on some of the Vengeance studios for people who are printing from Vengeance, double check and run UV tools all the time, because on multiple different kits now, there's been like a 1 pixel floating out in the middle of nowhere that has to get picked up, and you don't want to end up ruining your FVP with that. So just double check when you run things on some of their pieces. But cool.
One other that I'll bring up now, and then I'll save the others for next time.
Yeah.
Got the Shadow dude from Shadow Creations. My dad and I, when we do family trips, he would put like the radio shows on and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I love that stuff.
One of them. And so
I love listening to that old timey like kind of radio dramas.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what podcasts are now. I mean,
and that's have I talked about it on this show? Old Gods of Appalachia.
You talked about, not on this show, but Discord. Was it you who talked about Weird Darkness? Was that you?
No, that wasn't me. I'll have to look that up. But Old Gods of Appalachia is like an old timey radio podcast where they tell stories, but it's about kind of Lovecraftian.
Okay,
it's really pretty cool.
On my workbench, I always just write stuff down that I want to check out.
The only thing I'm gonna share this on the main show, but I did get from Paul Gill this week. Alien. I bought an Alien, and he gave one to give away for the show, so we'll be donating that. That'll be running up, but it's a nice little single, like just painter's piece. Really nice Alien.
That one and the Close Encounters coming, both of them.
Cool.
Yeah. So Paul does great work.
Yeah, that's like sculpted by Michael White. I think this one was. I'm working on for people who don't know, we have a contest going. End of July, you have to get your Mark's Head contest finished, completed, your entry. I'm doing one, even though I'm not entering the contest. I feel like I should have done it. So I have, this is really bad lighting, but I printed out these robot legs from this robot kit, took the top off, and I'm sticking his head on there. But what I do want to talk about are the cables that I'm making that go attached to there. It finally got me a chance to use from Green Stuff World. They have 2 sizes, and they're called roll makers. This is the package insert, roll maker. So if you're looking for them, this is what they are. And they are a 2-part, like it's almost like the old timey Play-Doh, like tools that you would get like in a Play-Doh thing. So you roll out a little bit of green stuff, and it only really works. I think you could do it with Magic Sculpt or AVs, but AVs and Magic Sculpt are almost too soft. And green stuff, the 2-part, the green and blue putty that you can get, it has like when they're done, it still has like a flex to it almost too. So it kind of helps. But you roll out like a snake and you put it on here, and you clip this on top. And there's a video online, I'll link to it, from Green Stuff World. Then you sandwich it in there and you roll this back and forth, and it makes cables, like little snaky cables and like wires and cool little, there's different designs in there, and that's what I use to make those. So I'll link to the video down below straight from Green Stuff World. It's a great little tool. Roll makers from Green Stuff World. Great little tools. So highlight that. And Dirty Down. I'm getting yellow sent to me in the mail. I talked to Mark from Dirty Down again, and I guess we did manage to sell a couple bottles over there. So I was talking to him. He was kind of happy, and I was just telling him, hey, I was going to order the yellow, so that's coming, and I'll share that with everybody when I get it. So
that's the one color I didn't get. I got the 3-pack. I didn't get the yellow. But,
yeah, I'll let you know how it is. It looks pretty cool.
And I got the base set of the Pro Aqua.
Are you liking that paint so far?
I thought the flesh was, like I said, a little dark, but for what I wanted on that. But I used the green on a base for something I'll tell you about next time. It's a little thin. I think it's airbrush ready.
Okay.
But I brushed it just to see, but I'm going to airbrush the next couple layers and see. I think it depends on the color, if it's airbrush ready or not, but I like it.
Most of the ones I've had are too thick to airbrush. So always you can thin it out.
You can see the where I had it. It's how thin it is.
Oh, okay.
It's at least the green was. So I don't know. I mean, I just got them a couple days ago, and I'm playing with them, and they're nice so far. So
yeah, I like their paints. They dry really flat too.
Yeah, yes, they do. They're super flat. It's crazy.
All right, you want to get into it? Want to get into our movies?
Which one do you want to do first?
Well, we're going to do Piggy last, since this was our normal one. We'll start with your bonus movie.
Yeah. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
How was it, man?
All right. So I don't want to do spoilers because it is really new. It's only been out a week.
Right. Okay.
So, I will just say that, first of all, the CGI in it is really incredible. Because it's not a secret now. They reduced age and youngerized him. I don't know what you'd say. To make him younger back in the 1940s, 30s and 40s, and it's really incredible what they can do. I mean, he could be Indiana Jones for the next 40 years if that's what they want. I mean, to be honest with you, but it's 2.5 hours long. It is long. There's some spots that get a little okay, but for the most part, great film. I loved it.
Okay, Did they Skywalker him? Did they diminish him as a person in service of someone else? And that's my biggest concern. Did they turn him into Luke Skywalker for the young Rey Palpatine?
Oh, not really. I mean, actually, they maintain. Okay, so you got the Elizabeth Shaw is her name, and it's like she's trying to. Again, I don't want to give too much away.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
But here's the thing. She's a anti-hero. How's that? She's an anti-hero. And it just makes him look like a better person, even in old age. He is a little grumpy.
Yeah, okay.
But again, it's like he's the first time you kind of see him at his current age, he's asleep in a chair, the TV's on, and the family or the young people next to him start blaring the Beatles, and he goes over and is like, turn that down, that kind of. It was kind of, but no, he was still Indiana Jones, man. He's still, it was.
All right.
It was good.
I do want to. I was almost tempted to go last night so we could talk about it more, but I had already sat in a movie theater for a long time yesterday. So,
did you get the Regal Unlimited? Is that what you're doing? I'm thinking about doing that.
What is that?
You have a Regal Cinemas by you, right?
No.
Oh. So Regal Unlimited, $20 a month, and you can go see as many movies as you want in that month.
Really? Okay.
You go see 2 movies a month, you're good.
I think there's a theater by me that does that.
Yeah.
And Imagine, I think, does.
Because I was thinking about doing that, because when the family's gone, I'm like, well, shit. At night, go see a movie a night or something. So
yeah, it's rare that I actually get to the theater, so I don't know. These days, it really is. I saw Asteroid City which is Wes Anderson's new movie. And for those of you who know me, I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan since the very first film, Bottle Rocket. Asteroid City is very good. I think if you don't like Wes Anderson, you will absolutely hate this movie. There is, because he's become, and after I walked out, I always like to watch some things after I watch a movie to see if like my thoughts kind of line up with some other people. And they kind of did. It was almost Wes Anderson, and someone else said this and I'll steal it. It was Wes Anderson doing Wes Anderson. Like it was so like, and he brought back things from other movies a little bit. The whole movie is about, and this isn't a spoiler or anything, the movie is technically a play that's playing out as a movie, as the guy's writing it, as a guy's kind of directing people on a stage. So there's all these kind of layers in there that kind of are playing out. And it was the story. Again, I don't want to give anything away. So if you like Wes Anderson, I really think you'll end up really liking this movie. In terms of the visual style, the parts that are like the play being made are shot almost like old time TV screen, 3x5, like square with like black and white. And then the stuff that's like the play playing out as the movie is widescreen and in color. And in those pictures, it looks like there's times, and this is what I love about Wes Anderson. For people who hate him, I think what really made me like what made my brain go, oh, this is why you like him, is I have a book that covers from, I think, up to, I forget which movie it stops at, but it talks about how Wes Anderson is like building dioramas, like model dioramas, and how like all of his frames are perfectly like just like dioramas that he's made. And I'm like, oh, it is. And there's parts of this movie that look straight up like models. Like it's supposed to kind of look like that in a way. And there's shots in the movie that look just like a postcard. Like it's perfectly framed to where, and the colors just, it's like a 1950s travel like destination postcard. And it looks,
yeah,
you know, it's just amazing to look at. And it also reminded me, and this is getting a little eyebrow. It reminded me a lot of the artist Wayne Thiebaud. So if you know who Wayne Thiebaud is, he's a pop artist that I always kind of show him to some of my students. He paints
Tim's
like,
brother, right?
What's that?
Tim's
Yeah,
brother.
Tim Thiebaud. He paints like pies and rows of pies and cakes and ice cream sundaes and hot dogs and just kind of straight Americana. Just, and then like if he does like a self-portrait, it's his wife, and it's just really simple, like, but the colors, it made me really, this movie lined up with him almost perfectly, because there's a lot of like diner scenes where they show pies and the sundaes, and it was just like that 1950s just straight pop arty like feel to it. So if you like Wes Anderson, you're gonna love this movie. If you hate Wes Anderson, you'll hate this movie.
My favorite Wes Anderson is Rushmore. I love Rushmore.
It's my favorite movie of all time. Like,
really? That's your favorite of all time?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I love Rushmore.
Get out of your ass, Dad. And that's what Missy and I will say that to each other whenever something's going sideways. Get your head out of your ass.
And that totally, that theme, and it's funny. There's an art. We're talking way too much about this. There's an art show that happens. I don't know if it's still doing it, but it used to be called Bad Dads, and it was all art based on Wes Anderson stuff. And this movie lines up right there with just Bad Dads. That's just like one of the big things that he does, and it is. He's gone from like Bottle Rocket, where it feels like more of a movie, to more of like these plays. I don't even know, like the last few, they're so surreal that they don't, you know, it's a thing all of itself, and it's an acquired taste. But
he's made a name for himself, so he can do what he wants now.
He can, and that's what I think. That's kind of the point of this movie.
Okay.
I'll
check it out.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
It's good. It's boring. I'll say that. It's not like super exciting, but it's if you like the style, you're gonna love the movie.
So why do you say boring? Like why? Because there's no like car chases and stuff in it? Or
no, there's car chases.
I mean, well, I'm just saying. I mean, that's what life is, though. I mean, really,
that's the movie. That's what life is. It's kind of what the movie is about. So I'll leave it at that.
We're sitting on our couches watching TV. We're not, you know.
That plays very heavy into what the movie I think is about. So that's cool.
Have a good time.
All right. Piggy. Brian's recommendation. Piggy. Brian, take it away, sir.
All right. So as I said previously, I read about this in Total Film. Um, and the way it was sold, in that at least, was a girl is bullied and befriends a serial killer. And I was like, sold, I'm in. That sounds fantastic. That's not what this movie is, though. Quite. I mean, it's that, but
That's in
it's
there. But
yeah, it's in there. It's
so I'm
and
going to
actually,
stop you right there before you go any further. When you first said that to me, like that's what the description was when last episode when we were going to watch this. I'm like, okay, comedy. Like in my brain. Is that what you had in
yeah,
your brain?
I like a
Like
B
horror
comedy.
comedy.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. All right.
horror comedy. And I also had an image of her befriending him early on and them going on a killing spree like natural born killers
Yeah.
type.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
What I thought. It's not that
No,
at all.
this movie is depressing and hard to watch.
No.
Go ahead.
It's still
Sorry.
good crime in the future, but the
But there's a difference between crime and the future. I'll get to that.
so Sarah, who's the main character, is viciously bullied to the point where I almost wanted to turn it off.
Right. And I was going to say the same. It was hard to watch bullying
Yes.
of what this girl goes through. It wasn't like, haha, we're going to steal her shoes.
It was freaking vicious. Like
Yes.
you, and I think as both of us as teachers, we are,
and you as a dad,
sensitive about it, but yeah, as a like I was watching it going, man, honestly, I would drown those kids. Like I would like, but yeah, I mean, the first hour is rough, man. It is.
And that's one of my main takeaways from it. It's hard to watch. I'm going to spoil something right off the bat. I really like this movie. I really like this movie, like going forward. So people who don't, I really liked it, but I'll leave it. We'll get to my grade later, but it made bullying feel real. There's a scene, and I'm sure you're going to agree. There's a scene where she's walking back from the pool barefoot in her bikini. So the girl, she's really overweight. So it's really, she goes to the pool to swim by herself, hoping no one's there. And, you know, so that she doesn't get embarrassed because everyone picks on her and call her Piggy. And when these girls bully her and almost kill her, and she has to walk back to town in this bikini barefoot on gravel roads and just like trying to cover herself up the whole way, getting sunburn. It was one of the hardest things I've watched in a long time. Like to just be like, man, that poor girl.
And then to add to it, another group of people stop and bully her as well. Like there's three guys. It's like, Jesus, man. Like
relentless.
She needs to get a break. And then, even more of a spoiler, her mom is a bully towards her as well.
Yes.
It's like,
her mom is the typical oblivious mom. My daughter, like, she's bullies her in a way, but like, I don't care that these other kids are saying this until like towards the end, she kind of like, but yeah. And her family, well, that's part of it too. Her whole family is bullied by these other kids. They're taking pictures of the girl. They own a butcher shop. And they call her Piggy, and they post pictures of the whole family saying the three little pigs and blah, like horrible. Oh, we didn't mention it's a Spanish movie. So let's start out there. So you watched it subtitled or dubbed?
I would dub.
Okay. So I did end up watching it subtitled. Okay. How did it go over for you with the dub?
Voices. I thought they were a little too forced at times. I was going to go back and watch it with the subtitles now that I had seen it, but I just haven't had a chance yet because I've been paying 1,000 kids. But that's one I think I do want to see in its original Spanish. I think it'll make a difference.
I'm noticing I really like Spanish movies, Spanish film, because
Spanish
like I don't know if it's a European thing, because I think it's even maybe more European in general. The timing of things, the way the speech, and this might be getting a little highbrow for us too, the way that they time out the jokes and the way they time out things that happen in terms of way lines are delivered in Spanish, and you just have to read it. Then I really like it fits with my brain, like in a weird way. Even when things happen on screen, like somebody goes off screen and this girl's head immediately pops up. There's like and it's Guillermo del Toro does it. It's very deliberate how things happen. And I think I recommended it before. It's called Day of the Beast. It's another Spanish film that I really like, kind of horror comedy movie. but the timing in that is this very same kind of feel to it, and I really like it. And I don't think I would have liked it as much if I watched it dubbed. So
Yeah, it did. Like I said, the voices that the actors they got were kind of, yeah, like it didn't. Some of them didn't really fit the people. I
yeah,
guess. I don't know.
yeah,
I think people's voices for the most part fit who they are. Like when I look at you, your voice sounds like what I would assume your voice would sound like, even though you
yeah,
hate it.
high pitch
And
and dumb.
my manly vocals come across, fitting me very well. But I, sometimes those voice actors, it's almost like, oh, we'll put you in here, and it's, I don't
Yeah,
know. Some of the bullies didn't fit. They were too valley girlish, I guess I would say.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. But yeah, I, I I think I need to watch it in Spanish, and I think it'll be even better film. But I did like it,
okay,
as you said. So anyhow, so it starts off actually. She's in the butcher shop and she's working, and the kids are coming in, and the one girl is her
yeah,
friend.
right,
She doesn't really like the way they treat her. She doesn't like, but typical peer pressure thing, goes along with it and follows along. Doesn't say anything because a couple times she tries, and oh, is she your friend? You're friends with
yep,
the typical teenage BS that people do, and that we see all the time.
yep,
So she's really alone, and it's sad. And she has a crush, I think, on the one boy for sure. And there's just no way, But he seems to not dislike her. He kind of is like, where's everybody else at? What's going on?
yeah,
He kind of is accepting of her, but more so accepting of the other group, if that makes sense.
yep,
So, but then, like we said, they go swimming. They're all having a good time. She goes swimming, and that's the first time we see the serial killer. He's in the water, but as they're making fun of Piggy as Sarah. Let's call her Sarah. Her
yeah,
name's Sarah.
yeah. Same Sarah.
I'm uncomfortable calling her Piggy.
Yes, yes.
Um,
They even like to the point where I don't like the title of the movie
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's so mean. It's
yeah,
like it enforces that you guys are
yeah,
assholes for even wanting to call, like, putting you
yeah,
in the position of being a bully for watching
yeah,
this with the title Piggy.
yeah. So the girls are on the bridge, like over yeah, it's weird. The outdoor pool is kind of like almost like
It's like a
I don't
river,
even,
like a spring, like a
yeah,
Turkish bath kind of thing outdoors.
yeah. So
Yeah,
they're settling down, and then they take all of her stuff, and the killer has been in there, and he leaves. Actually, you can see he's mad though that they're making fun of her.
yeah.
He's not happy.
Well, that was in
Um,
the first. There was a time where the killer was we're hanging out at the pool, and that's who he ends up. There's a
yes,
person that says something to him. That's how you figure out who the serial killer is. As Piggy
yeah,
then is in that water swimming, you see someone that he had drowned and put their
yes,
body in the water, but she doesn't notice.
right, because it's dirty water.
Yeah.
It's not your.
It's not
We
a
only
pool where you can see through. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and he doesn't talk very much. The
No,
killer,
not at all. No, no.
very Willy's Wonderland there, huh? He doesn't talk, and so anyhow, he as she's on her way home, the van that he has been driving, as she's walking, like we were talking about, getting abused and all that stuff. She comes across the van parked on the side, and girls have been kidnapped. They're in the back of the van, they're whatever, and he kind of holds a towel out of the van and drops it and drives away, and you see the girls in the back window.
Yeah.
Like,
And then before, one of the other girls was crawling, and she doesn't notice the other girl kind of crawling on the
oh,
ground. And that's the violence in this, most of it takes place off screen, which makes it, I think, better because it's your brain has to fill in kind of what happened. But that girl was crawling. You could tell something was wrong. Something happened to her, and
yep,
she's crawling. And then she sees him in the van. But go ahead.
yeah. And so she takes the blanket, and it turns out it's not her towel. It turns out it's not hers, but the girl who was her friend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got her initials on it, and she goes home and she cleans up. She's got she's her feet are burned up, her skin is burned, she's in a bad way. Um and you sit there, and the girls were calling for her to help them,
Yeah.
and she does, which I'm thinking, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
No, no, not really, because now it's mom's turn to bully her,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
her mom, when she tells her mom that, well, the lifeguard goes missing,
Yeah.
that's
That's
buried,
in the water. Yep.
and people, and I thought this was weird. Also, the whole town just goes to see what's going on.
Yeah. And
I don't know.
I think that's more like a small towny European thing. Like when something big happens that nothing ever happens in a town, everyone might be running out to the crime scene, like, yeah. Whereas here that happens 14 times a day. So no one
In your
cares.
driveway during
Yeah.
Wonderfest, um, Jamie calling
Yeah.
15 times in 2 hours.
Oh man.
um, so yeah, they go, and the one cop starts to think that she had something to do with it, or knew something that was
Something
going
was up.
on,
Yep.
just by her mannerisms and the way she was acting, and everyone blows that guy off. Of course, that's what they do with these types of things. Um, Trying to then the mom. That's when the mom kind of starts
You can tell
fooling
how
her.
mean she actually is to her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like, I don't
And
know,
dad's
man.
oblivious. Dad and the little brother are just kind of like your
Yeah,
typical absent dad.
yeah, but he's not. I mean, he
Well,
is, but he's
absent in
not.
terms of I'm not paying attention to my wife
Yeah,
being a jerk.
yeah. So she goes looking for her friends, though. She They took her cell phone, they took everything. So she takes steals her dad's cell phone, goes out into the woods to find her. She traces it
Yeah.
using
Yep.
the phone or whatever, and comes across his little hidey hole. And he's, you could tell he's like enamored with her. He
Yeah.
like he's in love with her. He
Yeah.
is.
He feels bad for her. I think feels some sort of kinship in terms of being
Yeah,
bullied. And yeah.
yeah. And then the people looking for the girls, some of the families come through the woods, and he takes off and kind of leaves her there.
They
Um,
almost kiss.
Almost,
They
yeah.
almost kiss.
You could see
And to
that
her, it's
she,
like, oh my God, someone actually is like, likes me. And so
yeah,
she's got this, do I help or do I help this guy? Or which, even though he saved me from being bullied, or do I help my friends? Like there's this cool back and forth going on.
yeah, yeah. And I think she's a fantastic actress. I really
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
She
It
did a
was,
great, you know. So Sarah is, she hides and she gets out of the woods. She makes it home. Um, and then again, like, I think I'm missing some stuff in here because I saw it, I want to say 2, 3 weeks ago. I got to stop watching these things so much further. But basically, he tries to, he takes her out, right? Don't they go out on a town type of thing,
yeah, he
kind
ends
of?
up trying to save her. He breaks into their house. Like he follows her, figures
Yeah,
out where she lives. He ends
right.
up, we don't know if he killed her parents or not, because he beat the dad senselessly on the ground, and you kind of just see him left to die. And then the same thing with the mom. She's like,
He
"Hey,
kind of
help
freaks
me."
out.
And then he
Yeah,
drags her away after he stomps her. And
yeah,
she talks the killer out of not killing the little brother or hurting the little brother.
right.
And
And
but
they leave,
when she leaves, her parents are basically left for dead in the house.
right.
And spoiler, you don't know what happens to them in the end. You don't know if they got saved. You don't know, because they end up going out to this like abandoned, your typical abandoned like factory where he's got the girls tied up now, like two of the girls that are left alive, and they're
Right.
both. She finds them hanging inside this factory.
And she, didn't she get hurt? I can't
She,
remember. They were in a car accident.
yeah,
She
they were in
got
a
her head
yes,
in a car accident. She hits her head, and then he kind of like drags her into the factory
yep,
where, um, and this is where it kind of becomes the movie that I thought it was going to be, to
yeah,
be honest with
yeah.
you.
It took a while getting there, but it did.
Yeah. And she's laying on a table. She wakes up, and she's still groggy, and she goes around, like you said, the girls are hung up, and like sides of beef.
Yep.
And he is kind of like looking for her, and she's trying to actually kind of cut him down, I think.
Yeah, she tried to save the
Oh,
girls, and then like he walked in.
yeah. And Um, she runs, she hides, and he's like calling for her, Sarah, Sarah, Sarah. He's got this weird mumbly
Yeah.
Jason talk. Um, and and
And she's kind of having a change of heart at that point. Like I feel bad for these girls. I'm gonna save them. This
yeah,
guy's no good, kind of feeling.
and so they end up fighting, and in the middle of the fight, the gun goes off and blows the one girl's hand off that's hanging. Again, you don't see it though. It's just you see her feet.
So, and that was, I think, the coolest part of the whole movie. Like, and cool is in, it's not cool what
No,
happened to it, but the way they shot it, you didn't know what happened because the frame is Sarah on the ground, the girl above her. You just see blood start to drip down, and you're like, oh shit, the girl got killed. But then it pans up, and it's just her hanging by one hand now because her hand got blown off. And it's just a stump, and she's sitting there screaming at her stump. And you're like, holy crap. It was so visceral and brutal. Oh, and I loved it. I loved the way they did it. It's so well done.
Yep. And then she ends up fighting with the serial killer, and she stabs him once or twice.
She stabs him in the side.
And then they're fighting, whatever. She pushes him down, jumps on top of him, and does the most animalistic kill I've seen in a long time. She bites him in the side of the neck and just rips his throat out, basically, with the mouth.
Yeah.
And which, to me, kind of fits the title, because pigs will eat corpses.
Yeah.
She is just eating away on this guy, and she just covered in blood and viscera. And she cuts the two girls down, leaves them there, and walks.
And that was, I think, part of the movie. Her mom was bullying her about eating and saying, oh, you need to be on a diet. Then fine. Then you're not allowed to eat. And the only way she could kill this guy was to actually bite and eat this dude. Oh, I think it was a really good movie.
There is pieces you could see of what we thought it was going to be. Type thing, killing the parents, killing because we don't know if they're dead or not. She survived. Natural born killers survive at the end. She rides off into the sunset on the back of the motorcycle
with that guy. Yeah, which my brain went, man, this is where my fat jokes come in. I'm like, how is he balancing her on the back of that bike? I just, I was like, dude, that's a lot of weight to put on the back of the bike when it's this skinny little dude. Yeah.
You'd be like me and you riding on.
Right, it would. It totally would. And I'd be like, what do I do?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm in the front or back?
Oh, yeah. No. I'm in the front. But man, as a teacher, it was a hard watch. Like, just because there's kids that go through this sort of thing on a daily basis. And it wasn't what I expected, but I still really liked it. I thought it was really well done, well shot, well acted. I think the acting was the serial killer was a little weird, like kind of there was something weird about his belly. Like, it's like he was pushing his stomach out to make himself look fat. I almost thought it was like a fat prosthetic at some point, which it might have been because of the way he had his shirt. But they were trying to push him as a fellow fat guy, and he didn't come off as like a fat guy.
The only part that was fat on his gut, but that's kind of how I'm built too. So it could be real.
Yeah, but oh man, I'm glad we watched it because I think it was. I don't think it's a movie for everyone. Most people will probably look past it after this review and go, nah, I'm not watching that. It's not funny. It's not. But I think if you like acting and like a good, just solid story that's not a sequel and something new, I highly recommend this movie. I really do.
And the reality is, I don't know if I would have liked it as much had it been what I was expecting, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because if it would have just been that, I'd have been like, okay, I've seen that.
You know what it would have been? It would have been Girls with Balls. Yeah. It would have been like just the same kind of thing. Like, and that's what I was expecting. And I was glad it wasn't that. I think it's really well done.
Definitely a more highbrow.
Yes.
More, you got to think, and like I said, it wasn't that the acting wasn't bad. Nothing turned me off except the bullying turned me off.
But it was supposed to turn you off. It wasn't like this was dumb. I'm not watching. It was supposed to be hard to just. It made you feel terrible.
Yeah.
It was not a walk away smiling.
No. No. Yeah, and honestly, I could see this would have fit in something like in the 1970s. It's got that 70s grind house type.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yep.
It just there's nothing happy in it. There's nothing funny in it.
Yep.
There's nobody is really likable in it. You feel bad for her, but she's not really likable.
No, because you could tell she's like, she was almost there to do the bad stuff like that, which
she almost did it.
And at that point, if you're relentlessly bullied your entire life, and I think that kind of goes to the core of the movie is what would you do if you were bullied? Would you save those kids? If you knew like these people were really super horrible to you, would you save them? Would you go out of your way to be like, or would you go, nah, tough shit. Like, see ya.
Yeah. I mean, and the reality is also, you don't know. We all like to think that we would be the person who would try to help.
Yeah.
But even if we're helping them, she really seriously hurts them.
Yeah.
Really serious. Something happened to the other girl too.
They really didn't show it. She got cut, I think, or stabbed at some point. And I thought she was dead, the other girl, but then she was alive at the end.
Yeah. It's very, the violence, here you go. The violence is Reservoir Dogs ear cutting scene. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what's going on. You know it's horrible. You know it's terrible, but you never see it. You just see what happens afterwards.
Talk about Reservoir Dogs. I think the hardest part for Reservoir Dogs for me is when he shoots the girl in the car, when they carjack that lady.
Oh, yeah.
When they just open the door and he has to shoot that woman who's like completely innocent, and it's so fast and just like it would normally, like, real violence sucks. Like, it's just hard. Like when it's not cartoony, you're like, damn. And that poor woman. And that's kind of how I felt with some of this. You're like, ugh.
Yeah.
It kind of tugs at you. So
it fits because it is. They're not trying to make it an unrealistic thing. I mean, you could see somebody, maybe the serial killer thing's pushing it, but you could see somebody push to that limit and going, you know what? F all these people. I don't care about them. You're in trouble, whatever that trouble may be. I'm not helping you. Too bad.
Yeah.
And she's a better person than me because she helps him.
Yeah. In the end, it took her. Yeah. She had to come around. There's that point of, and I like that part of the story. I think it was a good, what would I do in this situation? Yeah. Like there's people that I'm like, go fuck yourself.
I can tell we're not at 1,000 people yet. You're still cussing.
We're getting there. But man, all right. What grade would you give it, sir?
A-.
A- as well. I'm right there. Like, this is getting crazy. And I think we liked it. We're both coming at it, I think, from the same spot. And you have that extra layer of being a dad too, of seeing like some of that kind of stuff that could happen to your kid. Highly recommended. I don't think it's for everyone.
Yeah. I'm not going to buy you the DVR or
no.
I might watch the Spanish one just to see if I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think hearing them in their own voices is always my favorite way to do it. All right. So before we pick the movie for the next episode, I want to talk about a quick theater review. So when I saw Asteroid City yesterday, I got to see it at Alamo Drafthouse, which was the first time getting to go to an Alamo Drafthouse. So for people who don't know, Alamo Drafthouse is kind of like an art house movie but they play normal movies, but it's for people who like movies. If you talk or if you pull out your phone during the movie, you're given a warning. If you continue to do it, they kick you out. It is, and for me, my biggest problem, my anxiety goes through the roof when I go to a theater, because if I see one light on a phone, if I see I freak out and I'm like, stop it. And I can't not focus on other people doing the bad things. This was an amazing experience. Now, it wasn't packed at all, but the movie theater was super clean. They have like old time, like good movie posters around the inside. The inside, so this is directly across the street from Wrigley Field, is where there's only one in Illinois, and it's right downtown, like not downtown, but on the north side near the shitty Cubs, and it's right there in that neighborhood. and the inside is decorated beautifully. There's old like tube TVs on the wall with videotapes everywhere, and it's for people who love movies. They decorated one. They took a red convertible and made it look like you were looking at the outside of Ferris at the guy. What's his name? Ferris Bueller's, but his friend that has a car go through the window. Damn it, my brain. But they have that. Yeah. So they're at the outside and they show the car like crashing through the window, and it's decorated to have like all these pieces of glass flying and the car coming crashing down. I cannot recommend, if you have an Alamo Drafthouse by your place, go see a movie there. I am going to go out of my way anytime I see a movie now to go to Alamo Drafthouse. And I say that as an AMC stockholder of like 10 stocks or something.
How far away are you from downtown?
If there's no traffic, it's 40 minutes like to get to Wrigley Field. Like if everything's fine. It took me an hour and 15 to get home though yesterday. Like when things are going well, it's not a bad trip at all. So
that's how I am out with Cleveland. I'm about 45 west of Cleveland, so.
I'm 10 minutes outside of Chicago though. Like on the far south side, it's just like 5 minutes and I'm inside city limits. 10 minutes about, if that.
You're more like a Lakewood type area.
Yeah. I'm on the murder side of town, which is fine. But the highlight though of this movie going experience, so there's not even like a popcorn stand. Like you can't just go buy anything. Everything is from your seat. You push a button, you write it on there, and it's handled that way. But when the movie's playing, the ushers and the delivery staff duck as they walk past the movie.
You mean they actually get out of the way?
They gave a crap. I was like, holy because most of the time they just, they duck and run as they're walking past the movie. Alamo Drafthouse, I love you. I will be going back. Thank you for opening in Illinois.
How long has it been there?
Less than a year, I think. It's been around there. I'll have to double check, but I haven't had a chance to go, so I was just like, hell yeah. Really cool place.
Now that being said, I did see Indiana Jones in IMAX, by the way.
Okay.
It was good. It was a nice, big, wide sound.
Speaking of, did you see the Dune Part 2 trailer?
I haven't seen Dune Part 1 yet.
Oh, all right.
I haven't. So I need to watch.
Man.
I need to watch that. Should. It's on HBO now, but once I'll watch it. That'll be one I'll put on my list for the next 2 weeks while there. I'm going to write it down right now.
Well, that brings me, HBO Max brings me to, well, not HBO Max anymore, just Max. Brings me to the next movie. I'm breaking the rules. Since I'm in charge of this ship, I'm breaking the rules. I've seen this movie already, but I've seen it recently enough to where I don't think I'm really breaking the rules.
You got to be careful now. Maybe I've seen it, so okay.
Evil Dead Rise.
No, but I have it recorded on my DVR upstairs.
There you go.
Going to watch.
So Evil Dead Rise, because we talked about it a little bit when I saw it, and I cut that part out. But I want you to be able to watch it now, and then we can do a full Evil Dead Rise episode.
What people don't know is that you did a 40-minute
rant that I removed.
How much was it?
No, actually, I think it was like 5 minutes.
No, it wasn't. It was not. It was longer. Go to the archives. Call the Smithsonian.
There are no archives. I deleted those.
Call the Smithsonian. Nothing's ever deleted, my man. Dude.
What's up?
We got a giveaway.
Oh, yeah. We got a giveaway, everybody. So if you stayed till the end, bonus.
You're lucky. All right. So I ordered this heavy piece of machinery for my. I just spilled all sorts of stuff on my computer.
Oh, no.
Dude, it's paint remover. Hold on. All right. So now that my computer's completely been cleaned of all paint, I ordered the Typhoon paint mixer. And this thing.
Put it more directly in front of your face so we can get the full web address. Typhoonpainting.com.
And it's rubberized on top. And it's just any type of paint. And I'll tell you what, this mixes paint. I've never had a paint mixer before. I've always used just sticks, toothpicks, the back of my paintbrush. And I started noticing that, like when I was getting to the bottom of the bottle, that I had a ton of pigment still. And those things are heavy, by the way. That thing is it's worth the money. And so I ordered it. I saw an online YouTube video. I think it was Barbados Rex is the guy's name. And he showed it and he put it into work. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. If I don't like it, I think he'll take it. I think he takes it back. But I love it. I use it. And so I told him, hey, is it okay if I review this on here and talk about how great it is? I'm like, yeah, of course. I'm gonna do racks too. Paint racks. He goes, how would you feel about talking about the paint racks? I said, sure. So he sent me a paint rack. Now, I'm going to tell you, he sent me 3. Okay. We're going to give away 2.
Okay.
I put one together to see, and it's the typical, like, not balsa wood, but that thin wood,
Yeah, the MDF kind of, yeah.
Yeah. But the way he sets it, he staggers it, and it goes high instead of.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
Doesn't take up a lot of room. Now, that being said, as I was putting it together, you know how you put these together and the pieces fall out, whatever.
Yeah.
You have to organize them the right way so that they're offset. It's like 5 on 1, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. When they were falling out, I thought, oh, they just fell in order. They did not fall in order. So when I put it together, I've got like 5, 5, 4, 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4. So it doesn't hold as many as it's supposed to, but it does a good job.
Nice.
Yeah. So
this is typhoonpainting.com?
Typhoon Painting.
Okay.
And he sent me 2 more to give away.
All right. So how do we want to do that? How do you want to, should we have movie trivia? No.
We could. They're racks. How about this? I got a quote from a movie. And to get entered, you got to write what movie it's from. How's that?
Okay. People that guess it correctly. And don't cheat. Don't cheat.
Yeah. This will tell us, and we'll even know if you know this. And it's going to be applicable to what we're giving away.
Okay.
I got 2. One is for like the bottle droppers, and one is for Tamaya.
Okay.
Tamaya. So, if you want to be in, as you would say, for both, let us know. If you want to be in for just one, mark that down, and
yeah,
Jason will take care of that. So here's the quote: "Rack 'em, stack 'em, and pack 'em." There you go.
What movie is Rack 'em, Stack 'em, and Pack 'em from? And you'll be entered.
You'll be entered. And then just let us know if you want to be in for the dropper bottle, the Tamaya, or both.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Brian. Next episode, Evil Dead Rise. We'll see everybody in a couple weeks. Maybe we'll get it out sooner just because we're both. Actually, I'm going on vacation. Hey, I'm going to see you in person, I think, at some point coming up at the end of the month.
Swing by, man. It's going to be at the end of
July. I think early August is when I'll be coming back through. So
okay. So yeah,
I'll let
swing
you know.
by. I'll have my my thong on. I'll be in the backyard swimming. Come on and bring. You can stay in the car. Just bring Jamie, and she can meet the awesome mush that is me.
Ah, cool. All right, man. We'll see you next episode.
Right,
giveaways, comments down below. Rack 'em, stack 'em, and pack 'em. What movie is it from? Give us your preference, which one you would like, and we'll pull that next time. Evil Dead Rise. Piggy was pretty good. Everybody have a great couple weeks. We'll see you next time.
Later, buddy.